Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap between men and women. I'm your host, Ramont Williams, and thank you for attending. I have a special guest and a special topic. Please welcome Chris. Chris, please introduce yourself and tell us a
Yes,
little
I'm
bit.
Chris. Okay, I'm Christina Carlton, and I'm a mother of three children, uh, two boys, one girl, and I have a background, of course, as being a teamster as well as being a computer teacher um, for the school district. So I, my background, I have dealt with children a lot. Also, I had access to see the subject that we're talking about with the child support subject, and it hit me personally because I've seen like brothers, close friends, and fathers are affected by this, and it's out of control. So basically, that's why I wanted to join in on this conversation.
Okay, Drip, you want to introduce yourself for the audience, please?
Yes, Drip Guy, No Facade, Up Against All Odds, movie producer, entrepreneur, clothing designer, artist, and real estate mogul. All the above.
Okay, well, thank you both for joining us today. We have a special topic, and when I was first approached um, by Chris with this, um, I wasn't reluctant, but I didn't have a lot of knowledge in it, so I took the opportunity to do a little research on it, and this is a very interesting topic. So for all of you that don't know about child support or haven't experienced it, I'm pretty sure that this young lady is enlighten us to a whole bunch of things that we didn't know about. So, with that being said, we have to correlate this topic with relationships because it all stems from relationships. You know, whether relationships are conducive or if they're toxic. So, with that being said, give us your spiel, Chris.
Okay, so what I did was the first thing I did some research on the situation because um, when I saw that 76% of men in the United States have been affected by child support by either paying it at one time in their life, that's an alarming number. 76% of fathers are paying child support, and then you have the other percent of men who are not the biological father who also pay child support as well. And then the child support collections from last year, it says $25.7 billion in child support was paid in the United States. All my statistics are United States. There's 12.1 million cases, and 65% of the cases are current child support. So you have the two different child supports. One is arrears, and then one is current, where mostly men are paying now. Uh, what bothered me, of course, those are alarming numbers, but just communicating in different places at the store, at the beauty shops and stuff, some of the women would give statements like, "Oh yeah, I don't have to really work too tough because of the child support state payments that I receive." So I'm like, "Oh wow, how are you making it?" I mean, these women are like real flagrant about it. Like, I'm making it because, I have three different fathers, and they're paying for their children, but it appears the children are being taken care of, but it appears like they live extravagant lifestyles, and they don't really have to work, and they get a lot of time, to do whatever they want to do. So that's what made me kind of irritated, because it looks like uh, you're abusing the system, because it's almost like you're setting up some of the women, not all, but some of the mothers are setting up situations and setting up guys so that they don't have to work. They don't have to be concerned about where they're going to live, because they have children and responsible fathers are taking care of the children, but really the mothers take over the payments, and it appears a lot of them are funding their own lifestyles extravagantly. So that's what kind of made me want to go into this subject and, see how we can bridge the gap as a community, as far as child support. Like, is that the answer for fathers to take care of their children? That's the only thing you can come up with?
Well,
That's a rhetorical question.
let me ask you this question. Through your research, um,
Mm-hmm.
what is the disproportionate ethnicity of these numbers that you're presenting? Meaning, how much of this percentage is African American? How much is Hispanic as opposed to white?
Okay, well, as far as that particular statistic is, the only statistic I have, because I didn't look that one up as far as race, but it says non-Hispanic custodial parents are more likely to have a child support agreement in place. Um, and that's all my sources is from the CSC, the Child Support Enforcement Program. That's where all my statistics are. So as far as that's concerned, that's what I have. But let's see. Let me see. I'll get something right quick. It says 50. Let's see. 57% is non-Hispanic white custodial parents, and the other percent is 40% of Black custodial parents that are paying child support. So that's almost half.
Okay, are you familiar with the acronym AFDC?
AF,
Okay, what it
no.
means is aids to family with dependent children. Now, according to these statistics that I have here, and this
Mm-hmm.
is from the United States Painful History of Child Support Center for
Okay.
American Progress, they're stating here that the way this system was set up was to benefit minority families, but it's done just the opposite. It's actually suppressed or
Mm-hmm.
oppressed minority families because of the laws that stem from it, and the way that is being executed. When
Mm-hmm.
you talk about the AFDC, that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm assuming that this is welfare. Okay, it doesn't state that,
Okay.
but when it says here that if the court order a parent to pay $100 every month in child support to a household that received 100 in AFDC money, which is welfare, the state kept
Mm-hmm.
the entirety of the $100. So basically, um, I have pages and pages of this stuff that I just pulled up, and I kind of browsed through it. The state
Mm-hmm.
or the system has set up something to not only defame and demasculate Black men, particularly, but it's also designed to help keep Black men financially destitute, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
incarcerate them, based on what?
Right.
Someone now let me clarify something before I make this statement. I'm not degrading, I'm not being condescending, I'm not slandering
Mm-hmm.
anybody. I'm talking about these are facts. When you find women from the lowest economic echelon all the way up to the highest echelon. When they file for child support, it's normally the child support statistics has proven this is not for the child. It's, as you said, and I reiterate what you said verbatim, that is usually to sponsor their extravagant lifestyles. Okay, because how much of that percentage that's allocated by the courts actually go to the kids?
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
on board with you. So I just wanted to put that in there real fast. So go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I looked up the other statistics where it's saying 40% of Black custodial parents have child support. And then it says, like you were just mentioned about Black fathers are usually, there's high rates of incarceration because, these guys, they can't afford it. So, I mean, let's say if you have 3 children, and based on your income, I'm just talking off the cuff right now, but if you have 3 kids, and there's a case that I know of where a father had 3 children, he had to pay for each child, I think it was $250 a week. And by the time they took out all of the money, he had a good job, union job. So by the time they took out the money for the children, he only had enough to pay rent and maybe get some food. And he needed help with that. So, it's unfortunate. And I would say, how can you like avoid, not avoid, but how can people bridge a gap where they may not fall into that trap of child support? I mean, you know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is where you won't be in that situation in the first place.
Well, here's the thing. When you go back to the beginning of the making of America, it was all created and founded on lies and deception. Because how can a people run from a system that they just recreated here in a foreign land? Because the thing when you try to run from a king and queen, that dictatorship, or however you want to characterize as being bureaucracy, it's still, they came here and created a president and first lady. So instead of having a parliament, you have Congress. So all the things that these people claim that they were trying to escape from and start something new, they created the same thing. So when you talk about slavery, all these programs they have in place stem from slavery. And it was designed, if we can't keep the Black man in shackles, we will create laws that will keep them economically shackled, where they can't progress. And if they can't meet the standards that we set forth by law, we incarcerate them. So the system, in my opinion, is so flawed and so capitalistic, and it's basically designed to keep Black men down, in my opinion. And I know some people will try to dispute that, but I'm saying the facts speak for itself. When you talk about the incarceration rate, okay, how do you set up a system that incarcerate men when they're supposed to be helping their families? And then the law, you have this accruement for whatever the court orders. So if a man is incarcerated for X amount of years and he can't pay the child support, then you get an accruement on whatever the court ordered, plus the interest on it. So that don't give a man the opportunity, because prison doesn't allow you to make any substantial amount of money. So how do a father, a non-custodial parent, ever get ahead to get back or become a tangible part of a child's life when he's thrown behind the 8 ball based on a system that was supposedly on the face was designed to help Black families, but it's actually designed to tear Black families apart, or minority families.
Right.
So I don't understand that. This is the reason I don't really get into the politicking thing, simply because it's all a form or a means of deception. All the people that watch the news are deceived. The media have set it up, and it was orchestrated for this purpose. The more people we can get tuned into the news, we can always control those people. It's the people that don't watch the news or any type of media are the people that they're worried about. Such as my. So
yeah.
I just, I think it's very sad, and I'll use myself for an example. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I tried to do the responsible thing when it was revealed to me that I had a child. After a paternity test concluded that I was the biological father, I did what any real man would do. I stepped up to embrace my child, to support my child. But once again, we fell in this category that you're talking about, where the mother was not concerned with what I was giving her. She wanted more. And she constantly maintained that thought that you have to do more. What you're doing is not enough. But I'm saying, in my mind, how much do you need to take care of a 4-month-old child?
Okay.
If you're on public assistance, which she was and still is, or may not be, since the child is with me, you're working the system. So what you're doing is you're creating an environment that's not conducive to the child or to the parent, the father, which is me, and other fathers like me, because you have a personal interest and a selfish interest, and it's not about the child, it's all about you, what you can get, because a lot of women feel, not all women, a lot of women feel that when they have a child, that the child belongs solely to them. And what I've said, and I will constantly say, that women only bear children, okay? Child, you have an egg that exists inside your ovaries that you cannot do anything with unless we put sperm in it.
Correct.
Okay? So actually, biologically and scientifically, it's the man that fathers the child. Okay. You have so many women that's so disillusioned that they actually believe they take on this ownership that the child is mine. The system has set up a system to reinforce this disillusionment. So now women can run to this system and punish the man for actually trying to be a father to his child if he doesn't appease her ego or her self means. So with that being said, I don't agree to this child support thing. I think if it's ever awarded to any woman, it should be awarded in extreme circumstances. Okay? Meaning that the mother can't work because she needs to be there to provide for the children at home, or some extreme circumstances, not by you just going down and saying, well, okay, the father doesn't want to be with me no more, so I'm gonna sick these people on him. Okay. And that's basically what a lot of people are doing, so I don't know.
Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Barely.
Barely. On my
You
end.
seem like you're kind of in a tunnel.
What'd you say? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, in a sense, it's like the system is set in place, you know, for the back out, the bailout, get him out the house, lock him up. You know, especially as a black man, it's already harder than you know than the average person could even understand, or you know. But I'll say, you know, what I noticed about the situation what we talking about is it's the man that's coming to help and trying to be there, and then they run him away. But it's the dude that ain't about nothing, that ain't trying to help, they want to forget about her and the kid or whatever. That's the one they go looking for. It's weird. It's odd. It's like the dude who got stand up in him and trying to do what a man's supposed to do and handle his business within his kid or kids, should I say? You know, yeah, they might not be answering the phone. She might be moving. He can't find them. It's a lot of stuff and ring around a rosy he's gonna have to go through to put up a fight with that. And all he's doing is trying to stand up and be a man and do the right thing by all means. And that's just from my experience and you know other people's experience that I've talked to that you know feed me information. It's always the ones that's trying their best and trying to be there and be stand up about it, and they have a hard time. And so at the end of the day, I look at it all as like it's a move of spite. It's a bad business plan on a lot of women's part because I've also heard a friend of mine years ago, his baby mom, this is about 20 years ago, he's different though. She said, I don't want to deal with the courts. I don't want to deal with the people. You got 2 sons. Here's this account, you know, put the money in here. I think she was charging $400-500, you know, and I think which it went to them. I mean, I don't know the details on that, but if it was in the account, and that's a better business plan as a female on an entrepreneur level, just thinking 10 steps ahead. Because once you run to them other people, you know, it's just like you need a payee. You need somebody to handle your business. You don't know how to handle business, so you need somebody to do it for you. Right. So, I mean, you know, if I was a female and I set up something, I got a kid or 2 kids, I'd be like, listen, I ain't gonna keep your kid away from you. I don't want to have everybody in my business. I'm not trying to send you with the run around through this stuff and now your license suspended, child support, all that. I need you to be out here because you're more come in handy than you are in there. Because we laid down and had these kids or this kid. So I need you out here to be more of a handyman, you know, not towards me, but for your kid on your behalf. So I think the best business plan as a woman, me personally, if I was hypothetically, yeah, I'll set my own account up and do my own business. I don't need somebody to manage that, you know, and set up a payee to tell me what to do or when I can get it or this and that. I just rather have this account. And if he's okay with it, then we have an agreement, then that's fine. If not, then hey, you know, we'll have to go to phase 2. But on a business level, on a business plan, I would have to have something set up with me and that person as a grown up. You know, like I say, an account, just put it in here. We have no problems. I ain't trying to stick you. I'm a fair person. You know, you know, give me the heads up if things go wrong, bills come up. I understand everyday needs as a human. But at the end of the day, a lot of now I've been with women and underneath they're jealous of me, okay? And I done brought them up mentally, physically, and spiritually, okay? But at the end of the day, they're in competition with me. They're jealous of me. It's the more fly you get, is the more that it's like, oh, I'm gonna stop him. I'm gonna get in his way. Vice versa to a guy that's, you know, he might not, you know, got that. He might not got that, you know, that sauce. You know, that gift to get or whatever it is, just that energy. He might be just a homebody. He don't say too much, and he does what everybody say. I'm just saying, when you got that leadership role as a man, you know, it'd be like put a roadblock up for him, and then it goes to the roadblock, then it goes to the wall, and it goes to different phases and levels as it progresses. You know, like you start doing better. Hey, I got a better job and I'm gonna be some more help. Okay, let me put another roadblock up for it. It's like the more you on the side and trying to do better and be that man and that stand up father, you know, there's more roadblocks set in place for you, and that's all out of spite. You know,
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
that's all out of spite. So
I think when it's all said and done, Drip, I think it has a lot to do with the unselfish characteristics of a woman, the maturity level of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if a woman is mature and she's not selfish and she's not thinking only about self, then she will consider all those things. She will not run to the system to imprison, literally, both physically and financially, the child's father. Because once the father is incarcerated or he's put under these strenuous terms, how can he, as Chris said, you know, once the courts get involved and they start retracting money from a father, then it gets all bad after that. You know, now you get these fathers, you know, Black people are prideful. And once I feel that I'm being taken advantage of and I have no other recourse, a lot of these men quit their jobs, go into doing illegal activities, you
Exactly.
know. They accrue all this rear interest, and then sooner or later they run into the cops, they get arrested because they have warrants for them, and then it just gets just chaotic from that point on. When as you said, if women would say, listen, okay, I understand, and this is just a hypothetical situation that me and you can't possibly be in a nurturing relationship, but we have bared a child together. So we both have responsibility to rear this child. It's called co-parenting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing as though you make more money than I do, this is from the woman's perspective. How can we come to one accord in agreement where it's not putting a strain on you? I don't want to put a strain on you, but where you can help me help the child, since I'm the custodial parent and you're the non-custodial parent, which means that the child is residing with the mom and not with the father, but the father is helping financially. So how often do women do this? The system is set up. It encourages women to run to them to destroy Black families.
Exactly. And so like you said, the woman's maturity level, she would have to already understand that before you even have children with her. And it goes back to basics, When you meet people, you gotta, we're all adults, right? And you're dating, or if you're married, you have your spouse there. There's a conversation that needs to happen before you even have children, because marriage is getting together with people is not just about love, lust, and stuff like that. It's also business involved in that too. So if you talk to her as you get to know a woman, you have to see where her head is at. I mean, it's so easy to get caught up, I'm sure. I don't know, I'm a woman, but I'm sure men seem like they're more visual. So they may be like, oh, she's so fine, whatever, she's beautiful. And they throw business out the window sometimes, or she's not mature, but I'm going to still get with her. And then she has a child, and guess what you got to deal with? You got to deal with her immaturity. You got to deal with her selfishness, because, I'm not trying to get on the guys, but it's a two-way street. So if you're dealing with someone that seems to be a problem before they even have a child, and now you have a child with them, they're going to do all kind of stuff from their own selfish standpoint. So I'm saying all that to say, before you even have a child with a woman, see where her head is at. And you also can give yourself scenarios. What if I had a child by this woman? How would she be with me? Would she try to get everything I got and then some, or do she seem like she would be a reasonable mother that wouldn't even go, like you said, they wouldn't run to the courts or run down to welfare? I need help. I'm a single mom. Go after this man. You know, if you kind of get to know them and have that conversation before children even come about, it could kind of help you have a plan. It's almost having a plan just in case
Well,
ahead of time.
let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you a prime example, and this is just one of many. Tyrese, the actor, entertainer, musician.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
He was married to his wife, and you can tell by his emotions when he's interviewed that he actually loved this woman. He had no hidden
Yes.
agenda, but this woman played her role to the T.
Yes.
And the way the system is set up now, you get married for any reason. A woman can just walk away, and if the man is financially stable and has a substantial amount of money, a woman can walk away with half that man's earnings. That isn't fair to a man. So now
No.
you got people like 50 Cent that's promoting, and this man has a lot of influence, not only in the music industry, but in social media. And he's influencing Black men not to get married. And do I agree with it? In part, I do. And in part, I don't. Because I still believe in the institution of marriage. But if a woman, I'm going to give you this hypothetical. If I was rich with the mindset that I have now, and I met a woman that I felt possessed all those qualities that I can grow with, partner with, and build something promising with, if she wanted to come into a relationship, she would have to sign a prenuptial. If she had any hesitation about signing that prenuptial, all bets off.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because now you're making me feel that you can't come into a relationship based on sincerity, honesty, loyalty, and love. You're coming in with ulterior motive. And whenever you decide, because the system is set up, you're well aware of that. Okay. If you're over 18 years old, I'm pretty sure you're well aware of that if you decide to walk at any given time, you take half of what I've earned all my life.
Right.
It's not happening. So I'm going to stay single.
Okay.
That's policy. Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
So
yeah, I was signing a prenup myself. Like you said, everything I come into it, I don't want to start over. I come too far, to keep everything in order and to get with a female that do got some hidden agendas. Now, I had an experience to where the female came through the door and was like, hey, if I decide I want to, go another way one day, you okay with that? And I'm like, you free to do what you want to do at any time. She just asked that. I don't know where it came from, but then it like you said from the beginning, Chris. You have to really get to know somebody, understand, and listen. There's certain things that will give you hints to tell you. Like you said, if you like a hypothetical situation, if I had kids with this person, how would they be? Or you try to put these pictures and solutions in your head of what it could be or should be. But progressing through the relationship with this female, that ring a bell sometime when the question she asks. So I came up with a thing of like she came through the front door, but she started searching for the back door, and a lot of them do, and it's on the build up with them, and at any given time, of course I'm not gonna hold nobody hostage to be with me, of course, if she says she want to go do something else in life, that's okay. I mean, I can't do it because I like who like me, of course, and it's not a force thing; it's always a choice thing. So, personally, but yeah, and then it can get real weird. The maturity level, you know what I'm saying? A kid's involved, and it could backfire. First, we was cool and friends, and then the kid come in my kid, and you're pushed to the side, and it was I was front line, and now I'm pushed to the side, and I think the respect level just, I don't know, it gets thrown out the window, and then the dad just becomes like a weekend dad, and especially to certain kids, like girls with dads, and they need that frontline father. A father's a kid's first love, a man's first love. So I mean, when you strip them down and take that away from them, because you feel like a man don't talk or treat you right, or the maturity level's got to be there. You got to have some type of understanding that's outstanding, to be able to even communicate with that other person, because once upon a time y'all did communicate,
Right.
and after, when that kid come involved, it gets shaky, it gets flaky. It really does. It gets shaky after that. It's weird. It's just a hex on a lot of people, even myself, I would say, once that kid come involved, yeah, it can get really wishy-washy and shaky and flaky. The little games start being played, especially by younger women. They start playing a lot of games. Recess time, I thought, that was done in elementary and middle school, but a lot of games get played, coming towards the man, and the man just deals with it, and all the lies and deceiving and everything. It's just, I don't understand it sometimes, but that's just the way it goes. And at all in all, it just takes some growing up and maturity level. But yeah, that's just my little chime in on it. I mean, I understand every aspect of it. I'm not here to bash nobody. I just call it like I see it. That's all.
Let me share some with you that I just had the opportunity to read, and this is enforcement measures target Black men with economic and carceral punishment. From the 1970s to the 1900s, the federal government implemented multiple harsh enforcement measures within the child support program. These enforcement policies, which are still in effect in 2024, about to be 25 today, range from garnishing up to 2/3 of non-custodial parents' wages and suspending their drivers and professional license, to reporting their child support debt to credit bureaus, and even incarcerating them. These policies have a long history of punishing people for being Black and poor. Overall, roughly 15% of all Black fathers in larger U.S. cities have been incarcerated at some point for non-payment of child support, compared with 5% of fathers overall. Some states and localities have taken enforcement even further. One example is Lee County, Mississippi. Deadbeat Dads Operation, it's called, in which a local newspaper compiled a list of names of parents who owe child support, publicly shaming those who are behind on payments. Police apprehended a number of the parents who did not come forward, jailing them until they could make arrangements to pay. Unfortunately, raids like this happen across the country, often around Father's Day. Now, here's the thing. As I said earlier, this system, whoever pushed this legislation that got it passed, is designed and geared to destroy Black families. Our Black women, our Black queens have to wake up. They have to get rid of these egos. They have to get rid of this pride and understand that no matter how much public assistance, how many public programs are set up, it's also set up for you to fail. Okay? Without the Black man in the household, you will not be complete and you will not succeed. It's just that simple. And this is not for all cases, it's just for the majority. And this doesn't apply to women that have went forward to get their education, women that have great careers, and things like this. What I'm talking about is the women that economically will not progress in life, that will always sit back and wait for a handout. Okay? Just have to wake up and realize that this system was designed, as I read. I didn't write any of this stuff. This is something that I just pulled up off the internet today. It is designed to destroy Black families. But a lot of you run around and parade and you laugh and you joke when you find out that a black man has been incarcerated, or that they're garnishing their checks, or that they just lost their house or their apartment. And how do you expect a black man to help you when he's struggling to help himself?
Right. That's a good point. And what you were saying, I was just looking up, when did it get started? This whole child support process in the United States. It got started in the 1950s. So this has been going on for what? 1950s till down to this day. And has it been a successful program? Of course not. Like you said, it's like another form of slavery, breaking up families. Because for the most part, there are some people that's able to work it out, which is great. But you know, the statistics are so alarming with the imprisonment of fathers that can't work. It's like you're creating all these blocks where the man can't even take care of his family. He can't work. You take away his license. He can't drive to work. Or you take away so much cash, he can't even afford to live. He had to live off other people, you know, because it's just not enough to make a living. So that's why I'm saying it goes back to not just, it's like, why was this created in the first place, this whole child support program? And I agree with you totally, Raymond, is created to, we went from physical shackles to financial shackles, and throwing men in jail that really, they're really good, great men and good fathers. But you have, if the mothers will understand, hey, you're not helping the situation by turning him in so you get some child support. When you got together, there was no courts in the bedroom with you. So why do you need to involve the courts to take care of, especially a man that's willing to take care of his child? Why you have to involve a court? You can't talk directly to the father, to who's willing to take care of his child. That's the part I don't agree with. Involving the courts in the first place. Try to, you know, talk it out, try to work it out. But once again, that depends on the maturity level of the mother. Like, if she's willing to do that, or she's just selfish and just doesn't care.
Well, I think it's fair to say that, and I don't know the statistics on this, but I will research it, that when a lot of these women are young, and I understand that when you don't have formal education, it disallows you to make rational decisions, especially when it's conducive, when we're talking about child support, especially when it's so conducive to the well-being of the child. Because every decision you make is impulsive, is based on your feelings, your ego, your pride, and how you feel at that particular moment. Now, if this particular man who happens to be the father of your child doesn't appease your ego, then you already know that, you know, white people have set up, and I'm gonna say white people because black people did not set this system up. They did not create this system, and that they did not play a part in it. You know, what they did was they embraced it, not realizing the long-term effects that it would have on the black culture and the black community. So now only the people that's smart enough, that's going out, getting training, getting education, are bagging away from this system, because it's crippling our culture. It's crippling our community. It's destroying black men, you know, economically, you know, in a lot of cases. So the people that are pursuing academics and are doing the research and coming to the true knowledge of what this system was created for and what was the true purpose of it, are now saying, you know what, I don't need child support. I'm gonna work this out with my child's father. Okay.
Right.
Thing if it was the man seeking child support, which I don't see why men would do that, but you know, there's an exception to every rule. I just, in all fairness, that we as people need to stick together. We need to start communicating better with each other. You know, we have to get away from this egotistic and this prideful thing that is all about us, about self, when it comes to things that we want or desire. You know, because if we can't communicate and create a dialogue, then we have nothing, because all we do is contribute to the same system that's destroying a part of our culture that will eventually destroy us all. And I truly believe that. So what do you think about that, Drip?
Definitely 1,000% right. It's basically like, for a man, you know, it causes a lot of men, I understand, listening to a lot of uncles and people's stories, to go to drugs, drinking. I mean, the whole child support setup, the whole system set in place, it's just like a bunch of bricks fall on your head. You know, I've seen people go do weekends in jail behind child support. Pretty much you can't even have a life, you know, from the stories I've heard. You know, every time you get something, it's gone. It come in and it goes fast, and you know you really don't stand a chance. And then, you know, even though even sometimes I've even heard many stories, your kid can develop, you know, some type of disliking for you. You know, from what they heard, a lot of lies, you know, travel faster than the truth. So a lot of lies get put on people, you know, and the kid believes that you've been paying. The kid don't want to see you. It's a lot of stuff that comes in place with that, you know, where the father is just, like I say, he just gets pushed to the side, but really he's the main helping hand. I mean, if the world was going to end, who you think is going to come save somebody? You know, especially the kid. So, I mean, you're going to rely on the father. A lot of women misconstrue, you know, when it comes down to, you rely on the policeman. You rely on the fireman. I mean, you rely on a lot of men in a lot of aspects. And, you know, it's like you said, Chris, you know, they forgot that we used to be friends, and we used to be able to talk and make amends and, you know, have real grown-up conversations. So, you know, we could have an understanding, and all that just get thrown out the door on a level of accountability of selfishness and spitefulness and entitlement. And, you know, it's a lot that come into play with it. And, you know, going through a situation like myself, you know, with having a kid out there, and the girl, you know, took the kid and went and got remarried, and, you know, just X me out, like I say, from experience, you know, when you're looking and searching high and low and lawyers and stuff and trying to be in a kid's life and making, you know, attempts to do that. And they push away more. Vice versa to a guy who just don't want nothing to do with nothing. They'll be happy to go find and look for him and see the kid. It's just different. It's something, it's a hoax. And a lot of people believe in hoax, you know, and, like I say, you know, I would be a businesswoman and set up something with that person, you know, so that way my kids can receive the benefit, or my kid could receive the benefit and have something in writing, affidavit, or, you know, you know, where it's like, hey, you deal with me directly. I don't need a payee, you know, to, yeah, it's like you don't. If you have management over yourself, you don't need no one else to tell you what to do and when to do it and how to do it. I know I'm not that type of person, so I definitely want to have an encounter with a lady that is like that, more business savvy minded, you know. But yeah, you know, it gets, like I say, the man's turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol. I mean, it goes, it do, and a lot of people, they think that he just wanted to do that because of leisure time, you know. Stuff drive people there. You know, I understand every aspect and walk of life, and I listen to people's story. And, you know, men get X'd out, and this is my baby and my kid, and kids 16, 17, they don't want nothing to do with you from what they've been told or heard, or, you know, and, you know, it's like, What could you say? What could you do? You done paid every month for 18 years, and the kid come out, don't even want nothing to do with you. It's like, damn, can I get a chance to tell you the truth since you heard all the lies? You know,
Right.
everybody do have a past, but it's all about, evolving. So, and growth and maturity, so we're supposed to be grown and let's handle grown people's business. That's how I look at it. And yeah, it's it's a sticky situation, man. It can have you in a lot of different dead ends and struggles and gray hairs coming, and it's a lot of stress involved that the woman know that, and they play on that. And a lot of times the kids, they follow that too, and it's just not good for the relationships and benefits of especially the Black family. They definitely always finding a way to create some type of space and distance and independence between us. So I mean, whether it's moving out of state, calling another man father, like my situation, I had to tell her, why would you have her call him dad? That's not the truth. That's a lie. Won't you feed her the truth?
Right.
Yeah, so it's a lot of lying going on. 99% of the time, it's a lot of lies being put out there in the air on the man. It is, and he's not there to defend himself or tell the truth or stand up and, have some type of argument. But, at the end of the day, man, I will say, for anybody to keep going and watch for them roadblocks, because they're going to put them up. Those walls, those roadblocks, they'll go to any distance, put you in jail, lie, tell, stories, make up stuff. They'll do anything to just knock you down. And that's that satisfaction that one can get when, like Chris said, when she's not mature and she don't understand the severity, of how you really come into play, as a support system, as, somebody with a backbone, as a leader, just, somebody that's a helping hand, a handyman. I know, like Ramon, I can tell that brother, if he maybe had a teenager out there and, some help needed to come involved, I know I can tell he's a stand-up dude, would give a helping hand and overlook and overrule all the BS that he had to probably deal with through the time being. So, putting the father and throwing him to the wolves is not a great business. It's not a great business idea. I don't think so. And I see you shaking your head, Chris. Like, you're right. It's time, it's time for us to be grown and make our own decisions and choices. That's all, especially amongst Black people, because we have, they break our families up so fast. I mean, you can't even blink. It'd be all gone. And that's what they're set out to do, especially about the Black families. Yeah, I go back to that because, that's what it is. They know that's what it is. The welfare got set in place. Everything got set in place to get him out the home, get him gone. Y'all answered us now. Here, call us. We'll take care of your problems. The man called. He's sending letters. He's trying to help. He's free. He ain't on drugs. He ain't on work. He's working. He's capable. He got 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes. He's capable. He's available. Come on now, women. You can't knock the man down for trying,
Right.
E for effort, for any man out there, especially the Black man, because it's definitely 1,000% times harder,
Yeah.
Well, not only that, Drip, women, particularly Black women, not all Black women, but a lot of women that fall in this category, they have to understand something that, as a Black man, and you will never understand our plight unless you're a man. The things that we have to contend with on a day-to-day basis. Every time I open my eyes up, I think about the 30-something years of incarceration that I did. You know what I'm saying? To be able to come back into society and reiterate or reacclimate myself with the societal rules and fit in where I can be productive and take care of my family. A lot of men can't rebound from that. When you've done long lengths of incarceration, you become institutionalized, is what they call it. And you don't know how to function and operate out here in this society with all this trickery and all these devices they've set up for the average person that's never been incarcerated to fail. And when you get women, particularly certain Black women, and I'm reiterate that, certain Black women that take on this hostility towards Black men, and oftentimes it's not even the child's father. It may just be a man that she's had a relationship with that have similar characteristics as the child's father, and then this malicious, this hatred, this bitterness, it comes to the surface, and her whole objective is to destroy that man at any cost. I've had it done to me, on several occasions, and I thank God for giving me the ability and having the knowledge to know how to navigate through this system where I didn't become a victim of it, because a lot of these women out here are not playing fair, man, and they're using this system, as Sister Chris said, to hurt Black men. And this is not no slandering. This is not no badgering Black women. I love my sisters. I really do, with all my heart. I just don't like the things that they do. I don't like how they're playing the system that the white man created to destroy the Black man. No other race of men in this world that exists today has the struggles or have had to go through the struggles that Black men have had to go through and endure to even stay afloat, let alone succeed in life. We know, based on history and statistics, that anything you give a Black person the opportunity to participate in, they will excel. But you cannot give a man open the door opportunity and then set up 50 stumbling blocks in front of it. And that's how the system is set up, man. Those people like LeBron James, Shaq, and those people, they are exceptions to that rule. And it's not just because they went through college, because how many people we know go through college and never even utilize the academics that they acquire to benefit their lives.
Right.
So the system has showed us, if you can't excel in sports or entertainment, you can't create a business, you're going to fail, or you're going to work for somebody for the rest of your life. It's just that simple, man. And these sisters have to get off that bandwagon. It's not destroy Black man year.
That's what they're doing. That's the play nowadays.
Yeah.
I them taking place from each other. I've been dealt with extortion, blackmail, out of money, entitlement, feeling like, hey, I got this kid and I'm going to say this and make up this. And, I'll say this to the police and tell them this and, and just make a bunch of allegations on a brother just to take from you, go down. I've dealt with it, and I mean, it's from every standpoint, and I'm pretty sure I ain't the only one. And it's coming. It's younger females nowadays. I would say the more older females, they have more of like conversation, and they have more leadership. A lot of these younger females with this, I don't like to clean up, and I don't have to clean up. This attention and social media, and I want instant gratification on what I want now, and and they will just make up some delusional stuff on you, and just to have a way. And it's like, I stand on the truth, and principles and morals, and so what that is, I feel like it's just been going around for a lot of people, like to take that same play like the chessboard, but they're playing checkers, not chess, of course, because a lot of it is just made up stuff that they're coming with nowadays on men, and just to have a way. And it's like, yeah, we know the system is set up and play for, the Black man not to win. So, and people's playing on that. We've seen the Karens on TV, and, and these are all women, not just Black women. These are other races too that's playing these games and these Karen games and, making up stuff, and just to have a way and knowing that the system is in their favor, and, people's going to label you, and they're gonna call you all the above to make all the lies that will be get put on somebody will have a whole crowd believing it. So yeah, it's definitely hard. I would say the Black man, we keep stressing that because it's the hardest. Once you get as a felon, You know, nobody wants to give you a job, and you try to get your
Right.
funds, and you know, it's a lot that come with it to keep your nose clean in society, with all the allegations and all the, you know, false narratives people like to paint, especially on the black man. And that's what they do best, you know. And don't let him be successful, like you said, Ramon, to where he's in a better position, you know. And it's like you just got that little wolf on the side that's always trying to huff and puff, blow it down, you know, for some reason, knowing that you just, you know, work your ass off to be, you know, grow to be a better person, a mature person. So yeah, you know, it's hard on any black man out there. If you listen, keep your head up, and you know, you got to go through it to get to it. Yeah, they're gonna put roadblocks. Remember what I told you. You know, you just got to keep going, man. Find those walls, because it's a business. You know, in America, you know, kids. I know if I've never been married, but if I was to, yeah, I'm gonna be the first one. And like you said, Ramon, if she don't want to sign, because I don't have much, you know, but the little I got, I definitely don't want to be stripped back down to nothing. So
Right.
yeah, and I don't want to strip her back down to nothing. I ain't even like that. Like, hey, you got this little, you came in here with this, that's all yours. But if she has any type of, you know, fallback on signing something like that, yeah, it's off. It's off.
Right. Okay, we've come to that time. Chris, why don't you give do us the honor of closing out with some words of encouragement in reference to any sister or any brother out there that has this mindset, this delusional mindset of continuing perpetuating this cycle to destroy black men based on this system that white people created against black people.
Well, I'm going to say that I believe it all starts with us first individually. You have to love yourself and have a relationship with a higher being, God, um, because He can help you navigate through life and make better choices. And also, I would encourage women that are on the path of the war path of getting the father back, or whatever the issue is, or she's just being greedy, to look at when you're having children with these men, that father is part of your family. He's part of your life, especially the life of your children. So do you want to, you're wrecking your own family when you try to eliminate him out of the process. He's the head, he's the top, but you have to have that mindset or believe that before you even have children. So that's why I say it starts with us individually. So I just want to encourage those type of women, that whether you're black or Hispanic or whatever your race is, to look at your child. Your child have a mother and a father. So why would you cut the father off like as if he wasn't needed? Or why would you oppress him, and then now the relationship between the children and the father is wrecked? I mean, the children need both parents to be a whole individual, because they'll be affected if one of those parents is missing. The child is affected for the rest of his life or rest of her life. So try not to be selfish, and it's not all about you. It took two to make the baby. So why would you hold one party back as if they don't exist and you're just using them for cash only? So I'm just encouraging those type of women to open up their minds. When they go against the man, they're going against their own family, because he's a family member, and you're affecting your child in the long term, in a short term and long term. So try not to be selfish. Have love for yourself. And if you need counseling, because a lot of people need counseling that they don't even get.
Correct.
Or if you don't know where to go because you're not educated like you could be, or if you need resources, you're starting a family, all that stuff is not, you need a community. You can't do it by yourself. And Just to wrap it all up, so I'm not beating around the bush. Basically, try not to be selfish. Love yourself. Know who you are first. And any children involved, they have a right. Two people made them, so they have a right to get to know their father, spend time with them, and be fair to the man. He's especially a man that's there and for the child, because not you got a lot of deadbeats for real. They could care less about their children. So as far as the men that's really trying, I'm telling you, I give my hats off to those guys in full support of fathers, because you have a lot of black men that are real excellent fathers. So let this man be the father to your child. You know, give him a break. You don't need to run the court. You didn't run the court when you had sex with him and had the child. So why are you running the court now?
Correct.
You know, keep your family unified and stay in prayer and work together. You don't have to be together, you know, as husband and wife and all that, but at least work together with the child's interest in mind and the father's interest as well.
Trying to top him and trample over him all the time. You don't have to let that go.
Thank
Right.
you for those words of encouragement, Chris. Would you like to add to that, Drip God?
Yeah, like Chris said, you know, just try to work out some on a grown up level, because at the end of the day, it only hurts the kid. It felt good temporarily at that time, calling the police on him, doing what you did to trample over him, top him, you know, stop him. You know, the man trying to give up some food or trying to bring some money through the door, anything, some type of help providing, you know, like a man's supposed to. And you know, a lot of egos get put in the way, so drop the egos and communicate amongst grown-ups that, you know, stepped in a bedroom once upon a time and had a good time, you know, and now you got something that lasts a lifetime. So, you know, you just want to keep it mutual and keep the solidarity there. That's all.
Okay, I'm gonna close out and first and foremost, I want to thank you, Chris, you know, for bringing up this topic. You know, it's a topic that I'm sure we would revisit again. Is, you know, I'm very passionate about anything, those that know me, when it comes to our race. There's a lot of things that pertains to our race that I'm kind of embarrassed by, because even though it doesn't affect me directly, it's a reflection on me as a black man. Brother Drip, I thank you, man. You know, it's always a pleasure to have you on board. I thank you for the support. I know you've been trying to get people to be guests, and you know, it'll happen, man. You know, it just takes time. You know, people. We got a lot of people that's watching, a lot of people that's tuning in, new people that I've never met, and all of those of you that tune in to our show. We're gonna revamp the show again. Put up the subscribe buttons, the like buttons, you know, the donation buttons, because I think we're gonna have to generate some type of revenue to get the type of people on that people will be kind of in tune to. You know, people just like controversy and drama. So in order to get those type of people on, man, we're probably going to have to compensate those people. But I want to say this in closing to everyone that's listening to this tonight or may listen to this in the future coming up. Me, as a black man, I love and respect my black women. I will always entreat you as queens, those of you that deserve to be entreated as queens. If you act anything contrary to that, then it is what it is. My platform is not used to slander or belittle black women in no shape, form, or fashion. Okay. I love black women, and I cherish and I honor them and I respect them. But those of you that's a part of our culture that don't respect black men, those are the ones I have a problem with. Okay, we will continue to move forward and create a dialogue on this platform to enlighten, educate, and just try to guide those people that's willing to get on board to know that there's a platform out here that's designed especially to encourage both Black men and Black women. Now, this may have been somewhat directed towards women, but let me say this about you men out here, particularly Black men, you deadbeat fathers or males or men or whatever you want to call yourself. If you go out and produce these kids, you have a sworn and a moral obligation to support that woman and that child. I'm not telling you or suggesting to you that you need to go out and buy extensions and get hair and feet done and do none of those things. Your sole obligation is to that child. By whatever means necessary, I encourage you, Black men, to honor your obligation. You know, the child had no say in the matter when it came to you engaging in consensual sex, but the child does have a right to be taken care of to the best of your ability. So with that being said, we're going to close out. Please reach one, teach one. Every one of you that's a part of this podcast, you know, share it with your friends, put it on your page, try to get more support, and please come on board, get involved. You know, your comments, if they're positive, hey, I don't have a problem with sharing them with my followers. If they're negative and you're bored and you just don't have anything positive to say, please keep it to yourself. I won't engage in that. I won't even entertain it. So with that being said, thank you again, Chris, for the lightning topic. Thank you, Drip. As always, it's a pleasure, brother. I love you. You know, you've been a big support, man, since I met you.
Yes,
and
sir.
You know, let's keep doing it, man. Let's keep moving forward. So our next show is Saturday, and it's already listed. It's going to be an open forum, which means whatever you want to discuss in relations to relationships, that's what the topic will be. Okay. Okay. So everyone, please be safe out there. God bless you. I love you. Take care, and until next time.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Nice meeting you, Drip.
Thank you, Chris. One love.
Yes, one love.
Love.